Reminiscent of the free internet flash game block source, Cuboid, developed by Crete Studios, will hurt your brain beyond repair. Simple in premise, Cuboid is essentially a glorified minigame that isn't cheap, at $7.99 sterling or $10. While the game is really fun and is a well-made puzzle game, lack of replayability and a severe lack of features somewhat kill it, and at a price which is higher than other, better games, it's hard to recommend this as a must-buy.
The object of the game is to slot the mossy and metallic cuboid, the only playable character, into the objective, a teleport which takes the form of a hole. You accomplish this goal by manoeuvring your blunt little buddy around the course, which is made up of floating yellow platforms. A lack of any form of life is one of the game's biggest flaws. There's just no satisfaction at the end of a level, no reason to carry on playing the game. Sure, the cuboid transcends into some parallel universe, a scrapyard, or some other form of lead-lined heaven, but you never see it. Frustrated, you're left looking at the same yellow squares you started the game looking at, except arranged in a different order. The experience simply remains unsatisfying. When you master the format of gameplay, the boredom sets in. There's just no reason to want to keep playing. The game has little, if anything, in the way of gameplay to its flash-based online variant, and it is infinitely more expensive, and for some reason it's less fun. A reason to plough through the levels is non-existent.
There are plenty of levels luckily, 60 regular levels and 6 boss levels. These are split up into difficulty levels, such as beginner and expert. They're all pretty much the same, although naturally they get progressively harder. At the beginning you just travel across yellow blocks, but by the end you get some new game mechanics like switches, teleports and breakable platforms.
Well, there's none. Not so much as an online leaderboard in sight. There is, however, a level editor. It's pretty detailed and lets you create pretty much what you want. Unfortunately, you have to buy this from the store as downloadable content. It's £3, but it can also be bundled with the game's extra maps, an extra 33 levels, for £4. When you're done with your own level, you can upload it for other Cuboid players to have a go with and rate. Although I doubt there are many people playing this game anymore, so it's sort of pointless. Thankfully, you can download other users' maps without paying a penny. This does breathe a little bit of life into the game.
Honestly, there's hardly any. Pretty much this. For all eternity. The floop flopping of your cuboid reaching its destination and the 10-second loop of music is all that's audible. The music's quite nice at the beginning, kind of calming. That is until you realise it's on an infinite loop, and with no form of custom music, eventually it will get really old and really boring. That's pretty much all there is to say about the music. A game like this with no dialogue cutscenes or important audio could be the perfect host to XMB music, but with this game, there's no such luck.
The graphics are undoubtedly fine, and it does play in full 1080p resolution. The cuboid is well designed with quite a lot of detail to it. Moss clings to it, and subtle details like lines and cracks run along. The backgrounds are fairly pleasant, ancient ruins that change depending on which zone you are on. Then there are of course the floating blocks which make the course, and they look as bland as you would imagine. There are also small touches like little clouds of dust that puff every time you move your cuboid. All in all, the graphics are passable.
The dev team did decide to add trophy support, so that's something to add a bit of lifespan to the game. There are many bronze and a couple of silvers to go for, and hearing that trophy ping is probably the most satisfying sound of the game. But hey, at least we have it.
There just isn't enough quality content in the game to justify £8 spent on it. The core mechanics are pretty fun if you're into brain murdering games. There is little more to this game than its core mechanic, and that's its problem. The game's beauty is skin deep at best, and there is no more than meets the eye. It's rare that a free game has all the features of an £8 one, but in this case it's true. The online version is just as good, if not better. We played it for a while, and then it was left to rot at the end of our PSN game list. That cuboid will probably be a lot more mossy when we next see it.